morning guys, thanks for joining me for another What I Eat in a Day as a vegan on Slimming World. If you're new here, my name's Leanne, I'm losing weight on the Slimming World plan as a vegan. It's fairly self-explanatory. If you're coming back, as always, thank you ever so much for doing so. Really appreciate you, and you guys are awesome. So today is Tuesday and I'm just thinking about breakfast. Quite hungry. It's about just gone 9 o'clock right now. So I think I'm going to quickly make a grilled cheese just because I haven't had one for a while. I'm going to put tomato in it as well. So if you're new here, I'll just quickly run you through how or what I include in mine. So 2 pieces of wholemeal bread for my Healthy Extra B choice. I'll use 40 grams of cocoa cheese for my one of my Healthy Extra A choices. I'll use 1 to 2 teaspoons of naturally vegan spread. I'll decide in a moment because my bread's frozen. It spreads quite a lot further, so I might be able to cut down the amount I use there. And of course, a tomato, because I'm going to have cheese and tomato today. Just a super quick sins run through. So 40 grams, or 38 in my case, of cocoa, so that's 1 Healthy Extra. My butter always looks like this because of course I use my teaspoon to kind of gouge out the the measurements, but I have used both teaspoons because I thought, do you know what, for the sake of an extra sin and a half or 2 sins, it's just so much more enjoyable. So this is 3.5 sins for the 2 teaspoons of butter that I've used there. Obviously bread, Healthy Extra B, tomatoes, speed food. Okay, so I don't know if you can see, but I tried to do like half the cheese underneath the tomato and half on top, so it would help it stick, but I'm not sure how well it's worked because I've only used the 40 grams and not both Healthy Extras, so 80 grams, because it is, like, I know it sounds really dumb, but it's too cheesy. When I do that, it's too gooey. Oh no! Oh, this will teach me. I was trying to keep it so neat. Right, I gotta go. I fixed it, don't worry. Before the pan got too hot so I didn't burn myself. And I'm just gonna eat my 2 bits of tomato because, you know, waste not, want not. Okay, and I think that's us done. Excellent. Beautiful. I've also made myself a coffee, just using 100 mils of Alpro almond barista for 1 sin. So in total this is 4.5 sins. So right now it's lunchtime, it's about 12:30. My forehead's a bit red because I've just been playing with Delta and she likes to peck my forehead, groom my hair for me. Anyway, I've had to leave her alone because, you know, I need to get on. So basically for lunch I have my soup again that I told you about yesterday and the day before, in fact, when I made it. But that's not what I want to talk about because Mum's over for dinner and I was just thinking, what on earth can I make for dinner without having to go out and buy anything? Because I've got loads in, but do you know what I don't have any of is tofu. I've used all my tofu and lately I've just been eating so much tofu. I love it so much, but it like feels like it's become like too much of a staple almost. Not that that's a bad thing. Like, tofu's obviously really good for you. It's got, you know, it's calcium in it and it's protein and whatever, really low in fat and stuff, but yeah, I do have quite a lot of tofu. So anyway, so suddenly I was like without it and I was like, oh my god, I've got to go buy some tofu, and I thought, no, don't be ridiculous, you never used to eat this much tofu. Anyway, so I just there's actually a recipe in the new Comfort Collection book, and I've been eyeing it for a while and I've just realized I do actually like basically have everything I need to make it. So this is what we're going to make for dinner. This book, Slimming World Comfort Zone. Sorry, not Comfort Collection, it's Comfort Zone. This is the latest cookbook from Slimming World. They either cost a £5 in group or you can get it free with a countdown. But it's this one, the cauliflower cheese cottage pie. Might not seem the obvious thing to veganise, but it actually is. I've been thinking about it for ages since I got this book because it really caught my eye. And you know, the weather's been so like grey and bleh at the moment. I just thought, do you know what, this is actually going to be really comforting, and I'll serve it with some nice green veg. Well, broccoli, maybe a few green beans. So yeah, but what I'm going to do is just quickly get prepping it now. If I can get it put together now in lunchtime, then later on today what I'll have to do is put it in the oven. So yeah, this is what I'm going to make, and I'm going to show you how I adapt it to be vegan and also in accordance with what I have in. Okay, so here's lunch. Not the party ring, that's an empty packet from yesterday. But basically I've got my soup. So you guys saw this yesterday and the day before when I made it. Today I've left it plain. I haven't added in any nutritional yeast. Instead, to accompany it, I've just had in the air fryer, like while I was cleaning up the kitchen, these little Gosh spinach and pine nut balls. And these are actually 1 cent each. I don't think I've ever tried these before, so I'm just going to break one in half so we can have a look together. So there we go. That's that. I'm just going to have a little bite just to try it. It's quite hot. You probably can't see the steam coming out of it. Okay, yeah, they're nice. Taste just kind of falafel-y. I thought they'd be a bit more pesto-y flavour, but maybe that was just my perception. But either way, they're a nice accompaniment to the soup. The reason I'm having them in addition to my soup is because yesterday I just found that I wasn't quite satisfied by this, and then I found myself snacking like quite a lot in the afternoon. So I thought it's better to have like a bit more of a balanced meal, or a bit extra with my soup, and try and snack a bit less. Hey guys, so right now it is 8 minutes past 3 in the afternoon, not the early hours of the morning. Yeah. Let's just move on. What do you guys reckon I should do about these boxes? It's what my TV and soundbar were in, and I kept them because I thought, you know, eventually I'm going to have to move house at some point. But on the other hand, I'm not planning to for years and years and years, and I don't want to keep them in the garage or anything because they'll get full of spiders and stuff. So, but they're just so messy. I can't stand it because like my study in here is really quite a small little room. It's actually the second bedroom. That's my bookcases. That's it. That's literally the whole room. It's teeny weeny. But yeah, those boxes are just doing my head in. Anyway, don't be surprised if you see them gone. I'm thinking I'll just deal with it, you know, when I next move. Anyway, on to the point of me recording. I'm having an Alpro latte. This is the other one that I bought the other day from Lidl's. And I can't remember how much they cost, but I bought 2 of them to try them. Had one on Sunday. Yeah, one on Sunday, and I'm gonna have the other one now. These are really quite tasty, but they're really quite sweet. So it's quite a nice afternoon thing. So I think I'll get them again. Quite a nice afternoon treat. They're 3.5 cents for a 235ml cup. They are in the app. The oat one is also in the app. I'm not fussed on oat stuff really. I vastly prefer almond because I really love the taste of almond. So yeah, they're 73 calories if you're interested in that. 11.5 grams of sugar. But my theory is I want a coffee anyway, and by having this it feels really treaty because it's really sweet, but it's also my coffee, and it's instead of having like a biscuit or something like that. So I'm having this as my little afternoon snack. Well, you know, afternoon sweet thing. I don't really like to have a sort of snack as such on a Tuesday, just because when mum comes round, I tend to eat quite a lot earlier than I normally would. So I'll end up eating normally like 6:30. Whereas on a bad day, I have been known to eat at 9-10 o'clock at night, which is really bad, and I don't like doing that at all. But between 7 and 8, somewhere around there would normally be, probably 7:30 would normally be about my normal time to eat. Although that is a little later than I prefer. But anyway, the point is, I eat earlier on the days mum comes round, and therefore I don't want to have a snack because there's really no need for it. But I do want something sweet, so this is going to fulfill that little niche for me. And they're really tasty. Wish I could remember how much they were, if they're good value or not, because I might get them again. I'll look next time I'm in Lidl's. Okay, I'll catch up with you guys later. Okay, so I'll probably insert this footage just before the dinner portion, but know that this is lunchtime and I'm prepping in advance. So I'm starting off the recipe in a similar way to how they do, which is by sauteing 1 onion and 1 large carrot, or 2 small ones in my case, I used some Fry Light and then added a few tablespoons of oil, hot water. And then what I've done, because I'm going to use aubergine and lentils instead of beef mince, but also I'm going to use a little bit of Tesco meat-free mince. I'm not the massivest fan of this, so I thought if I mix it in with the other bits, then it will add some protein, because it is quite a good source of protein, this one. And it'll get a little bit of texture, but it's not overwhelming, because I just find the texture of this is really, it's just not so much for me. It's not the kind of thing I would normally go for. So it's a bit sort of chewy and meaty for my personal preference. But you know, there's absolutely nothing wrong with using it. You know, it's super low fat, super high in protein. It's soy, obviously, so very good for you. So yeah. Anyway, so I will be adding a bit of that just because this has been in my freezer forever. And you know, nice to bulk things out with. Anyway, so this has got not loads of water left in the bottom. It's in fact got barely any now, so I'm going to put a tiny bit more in. Oh, I've also added some garlic as well. So we've got onion, carrot, aubergine and garlic. This is a whole big aubergine, by the way. And I'm going to put a little bit of water in, and I'm just going to cover it with the lid for a few minutes while I peel my potatoes and get the next step for this sauce ready. Whew, okay, 10 minutes later, I have my potatoes. I've just got the last one in, but in the meantime I had this starting to boil, so I'm steaming the cauliflower because I don't like it overdone, and it is going to go in the oven as well, but it just definitely needs to just sort of get going. These have all just been sat here steaming, I guess. So now let's go to the next part of the recipe, which is, so I've got a break, right, so I'm going to add in my lentils, my mushrooms and some of that Tesco mincy stuff. I mean, it didn't really go to plan because it was one big lump, so the whole bag of mince it is, but I guess at least it's out my freezer, and now I won't be worrying about it being in there all the time thinking what on earth am I going to do with it. So I'll just break that down a bit. I may only put in 1 tin of lentils if all this is in here, just because, you know, it feels a little excessive, but I'll just judge it in a minute. Okay, I managed to beat the giant mince lump into submission. So that's all stirred in. I've added about 2/3 of a box of mushrooms. I just wanted to keep the rest. The recipe calls for 2 tablespoons of tomato puree. I've put that much in, which is a bit more. Some dried herbs. I'm using my Italian blend. And then it asks for 3 tablespoons Worcester sauce, which I don't have a vegan one, but what I do have is my lovely mushroom ketchup. There's not that much left in there, so I'm just going to use the lot. God, that was like a tablespoon and a half. And then it asks for stock and stock pots. So what I'm going to use instead of beef stock is 1 rich and smoky, 1 red wine and 1 just normal Knorr vegetable stock pot. So it calls for 150 ml of stock. I'm just going to add that much water. I think mine's probably a little bit drier than theirs is, so I'm just going to judge it and see if it needs more water in a minute. I've actually just gone ahead and added in both things of lentils, tins of lentils, because I feel like they're going to add some nice texture. It's smelling really nice, I've got to say. Yum yum. And of course absolutely packed with veg. Speed veg at that. Yummy. Okay, I'm pretty sure I've nailed this texture because look, it's not wet, but it is juicy. So I feel like that's perfect. Because the other thing is you don't want it too dry. So, oh, yum. And it does smell really, really nice. Hopefully it will taste nice. I haven't even tried it, but I don't want to because it will ruin my soup in a minute. So I'm just going to spread that out, and then we're going to get the potatoes mashed. Okay, I've mashed the potatoes, or started to. Then I've added in some salt and pepper, and also a big old dollop of the Alpro plain no sugars, instead of the Greek yogurt in their recipe. Okay, feeling slightly stressed, but it's okay because we're reaching the end now. So this is 120 grams of cocoa, which is equivalent to 3 healthy extra A choices. My plan is that this is going to make 3 portions, so therefore 1 healthy extra A per portion. Obviously me and Mum will have a portion each tonight, and then I'll have 1 left over, so this should all work out perfectly. But basically I'm going to put, like, I don't know, not that much in the mash, and the rest would go on top. It's done, and if I say so myself, it actually looks pretty good, especially considering I didn't blend it, I just used my hand. So there we go. Now what you do is you stir in the cauliflower pieces into the mash. So I'm not sure how well I've stirred it in, but I'll rectify that in a minute. And now I'm just going to top my cottage pie mix. Now the secret to a good cottage pie or shepherd's pie or whatever topping is not to be one of these people that smooths it out and runs a stupid little fork through it. That doesn't give you the crispy bits. You want big, ugly lumps, because do you know what? They make it delicious. So you will always see mine looking like this and not like those horrible ones with the little lines because they don't go crispy. Even though they claim that's what they do, but they don't, not like these. Anyway, I'm just putting the rest of the cheese on top, trying to do it evenly. And then I can put this aside. I'm just gonna store it like in the oven, obviously cold, until tonight when it will need to go on for probably about 45 minutes. And then we'll have dinner. I mean, easy peasy, really. And it is now 1:15, so this has taken me 45 minutes to put together, but do you know what? I'm gonna be so grateful for that later though. So there we go. I don't think that looks half bad. Hopefully you guys agree. We'll see later when we try it. Although of course, if I've remembered to put this in the right order, then you'll see in a minute. Okay, it has come out of the oven. The cheese on top doesn't look beautiful, but that's fine. It smells so good. Okay, so this is, me and Mum have both had this. So we've got obviously a load of steamed broccoli and then a quarter of the big cauliflower cheese cottage pie. Yum. For dessert, we are having fromage frais and we're having half this pot each. So that's 2.5 sins. And you know, because I'm a bit extra, we just topped with some freeze-dried strawberry pieces. This is just pure strawberry. There you go, strawberry. Because, you know, it just looks pretty. So I'm looking a little dishevelled because when, just before we had dinner, when Mum was coming down, I walked down to the high street to meet her. Waited outside Iceland like a strange burglar. Because I didn't have a mask with me, so I couldn't go in and see her. Yeah, waited for her to come out. At which point we established that she was only loitering around looking at stuff because she was waiting for me to come in. I mean, it was literally about 5 full minutes that we both were in like a Mexican standoff, each waiting for the other. Interesting. Anywho, so yeah, obviously my hair went frizzy because it's like a drizzly, weird night. Anyway, tea was amazing. I don't know why I was saying thirds earlier, it was only because of the cheese, but obviously a quarter is an actual portion of that shepherd's pie thing. So I have 2 quarters left that I've portioned up. Each of those has 30 grams approx of cocoa vegan cheese, so 3/4 of 1 healthy extra A each. Yeah, happy with that. I've already cleaned up all the kitchen, everything's looking very nice, spick and span. Well, you know, as much as it gets it. And yeah, so I'm just gonna get to chill now. And the best thing is I've got 9.5 sins left. So don't know what I'm gonna have for my treat yet. Okay, this marzipan log is like dark chocolate covered and it's 5.5 for 25 grams based on the sin calculator. It's 175 grams in total, so I'm just going to try and weigh out 25 grams to try it. Right, so I actually sliced the whole thing up. I think each portion is going to be about 2 of these pieces, but you know, it looks good. As I said the other day, I'm a Marzi fan. Oh, the lols. So let's... Yeah, that's just about 2 of these pieces. Look at that. 5.5 sins. It's really quite... Well, I suppose it's not that high. I don't know. Okay, I've decided to actually just have 1 of those pieces, and that works out at 3 sins. Okay, so this is my treat pot tonight. I'm now not feeling very satisfied with this, but whatever, this is it, I've decided. So 3 sins of this marzipan log thing. These are 2 each, so that's 4 sins. They're the caramel no-mo drops, so that's 7 in total. And then that leaves me 2.5, and this is slightly over 2 squares, well, it's 2.5 really, of the Bournville dark chocolate. the orange one, and this size bar is 1 sin per square. So this is like 2.5. So yeah, I'll call it 2.5. So effectively, that is 9.5 sins, and I'm gonna end my day on 25 sins. It's only 8:45 right now, but I'm already having a nighttime tea. I really need an early night. I'm so tired. I'm just really not sleeping well again at the moment. I already had a cup of after dinner tea. After dinner, funny enough. So this is what I'm having now. And that's really all from me today. I am so chilled that there is every chance I may fall asleep on the sofa, which would be a disaster, because I would wake up freezing cold. But yeah, I'm just watching, I think probably just one episode of my programme. I'm watching Designated Survivor. It's really good. It's on Netflix. I'm very addicted to it already. I didn't think I'd like it because it's a political one, but it's so good. Like, I'm so addicted. Yeah, so I'm just gonna watch an episode of that and then try and make myself go to bed because I am absolutely shattered. So anyway, thank you very much for watching my little video. I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope it was nice seeing something made from one of the Slimming World books, but veganised, because I often look through like the meaty bits of the books because, you know, whilst it is a bit gross because you've got to look at the meat, on the other hand, you can veganize a lot of this stuff, and there are some good ideas in there, you know, that you can at least adapt or that kind of thing. So yeah, I think they are a valuable resource, you know, or at least a starting off point or something like that. Anywho, so it's all from me. If you like the video, please do press the like button, and if you're not subscribed yet, you know, consider doing so if you like my videos. If you don't, then don't, because that would be silly. But anyway, as for that, I will see you guys tomorrow because my words are now coming out all jumbled up. Guys, thanks again for watching. Night night.